Data classes versus typing.NamedTuple primary use cases. Long story short, PEP 557 introduced data classes into Python standard library that basically can fill the same role as collections.NamedTuple and typing.NamedTuple. And now I'm wondering how to separate the use cases in which NamedTuple is still a better solution. Data classes advantages over NamedTuple. Of course, all the credit goes to data class if we need. Mutable objects, inheritance support, property decorators, manageable attributes, generated method definitions out of the box or customizable method definitions. Data classes advantages are briefly explained in the same PEP. Why not just use NamedTuple? Q. In which cases NamedTuple is still a better choice? But how about an opposite question for NamedTuples? Why not just use data class? I guess probably NamedTuple is better from the performance standpoint, but found no confirmation on that yet. Example. Let's consider the following situation. We are going to store pages dimensions in a small container with statically defined fields, type hinting and named access. No further hashing, comparing and so on are needed. NamedTuple approach. Data class approach. Which solution is preferable and why? P.S. The question isn't a duplicate of that one in any way, because here I'm asking about the cases in which NamedTuple is better, not about the difference. I've checked talks and sources before asking.
It depends on your needs. Each of them has own benefits. Here is a good explanation of data classes on Pick in 2018. Raymond Hedinger, Data Classes, the code generator to end all code generators. In data class all implementation is written in Python, whereas in NamedTuple, all of these behaviors come for free because NamedTuple inherits from tuple. And because the tuple structure is written in C, standard methods are faster in NamedTuple, hash, comparing and etc. Note also that data class is based on dict whereas NamedTuple is based on tuple. Thus, you have advantages and disadvantages of using these structures. For example, space usage is less with a NamedTuple, but time access is faster with a data class. Please, see my experiment. But with increasing the number of attributes of NamedTuple, access time remains the same small, because for each attribute it creates a property with the name of the attribute. For example, for our case the part of the namespace of the new class will look like. In which cases NamedTuple is still a better choice. When your data structure needs to / can be immutable, hashable, iterable, unpackable, comparable, then you can use NamedTuple. If you need something more complicated, for example, a possibility of inheritance for your data structure, then use data class.
In programming in general, anything that can be immutable should be immutable. We gain two things. Easier to read the program, we don't need to worry about values changing. Once it's instantiated, it'll never change. NamedTuple. Less chance for weird bugs. That's why, if the data is immutable, you should use a named tuple instead of a data class. I wrote it in the comment, but I'll mention it here. You're definitely right that there is an overlap, especially with frozen equals true in data classes, but there are still features such as unpacking belonging to NamedTuples, and it always being immutable. I doubt they'll remove NamedTuples as such.
I had this same question, so ran a few tests and documented them here. This URL. Summary. NamedTuple is better for unpacking, exploding, and size. Data class is faster and more flexible. The differences aren't tremendous, and I wouldn't refactor stable code to move from one to another. NamedTuple is also great for soft typing when you'd like to be able to pass a tuple instead. To do this, define a type inheriting from it. Then unpack it inside your functions. Don't use the dot attributes, And you'll have a nice type hint without any pitter for the caller.
I didn't see any of the other answers mention it, but in my opinion one of the most important differences is to do with how equality and comparison work. When you compare name tuples, the names are ignored. Two name tuples are equal if they contain the same values in the same order, even if they have different class names or field names. Data class instances, on the other hand, will only be considered equal if they are of the same type. I pretty much always want the latter behavior. I expect things of different types to be distinct.
Another important limitation to NamedTuple is that it cannot be generic.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.